up, everybody? Garrett back here, and man, I have a list for you guys I've been wanting to do for a long time. I told you I have a lot of favorite kind of subgenres within horror, things like suburban horror. Well, here's another one that is one of my absolute favorite subgenres in horror, and man, it is heavy metal horror. Now, guys, if you know me, I'm a huge heavy metal fan. I always have been. I'm actually a huge music fan, but heavy metal, especially things like in the 80s and stuff like that. In the 90s, I got really into more hardcore and stuff like that. But man, this is one of my favorite subgenres. I love when you can bring heavy metal music into these movies, but this is more than just music. When you think about heavy metal and horror, there's always cool music in a lot of these horror movies, so much so that there's actually a cool documentary called The History of Metal and Horror. If you guys haven't seen this, this was pretty much like my precursor to doing this video. I've had this for a while now, and I've wanted to do something for a long time, but I knew now was finally the chance to do it because of some of the movies that I've acquired in my collection. Now again, bringing heavy metal and horror together, it's almost like peanut butter and jelly. So I'm going to showcase probably about 15 of what I think is some of the best heavy metal horror out there. A lot of obscure stuff that I think you guys need to add to your horror movie collection, or at least to your watch list. But before I start, I want to give a bunch of honorable mentions, ones that could have made this list, but for whatever reason they didn't. And it's mostly because there's either not enough heavy metal in it. Maybe the music that's really strong in these movies aren't necessarily heavy metal, even though the story has to do with musicians and stuff like that. I just wanted to throw it out there. The first one is one that I know a lot of people are going to want to see on this list. And the only reason it's not on this list is because there really isn't a lot of heavy metal characters or concerts or anything like that, and that is going to be The Gate, one of the most iconic gateway horror movies of all time, one of my absolute favorites, and they really bring the heavy metal element into this, especially when it comes to kids. Now, again, the reason heavy metal comes so far into this story is because they get an album from band Sacrifix. Look at this. Remember this album? And what you do is you play it and all hell breaks loose. Then you can play it backwards. Something that you've always heard through the years in the lore, like, oh, if you play this album backwards, you get a different song, or it does this or that. It's always something we've heard, but in this movie, they actually do it. But again, there's no actual band in this movie or anything like that. So that's why it didn't make my top 15 list, but it's definitely one I wanted to showcase because, again, it really does have a great heavy metal aspect to this movie. The next one is going to be Dario Argento's Four Flies on Grey Velvet. This is a Giallo movie. Awesome movie, by the way. This was put out by Severin Films. And this is about a drummer of a rock band, but there's not a lot of heavy metal or anything in this, but it just revolves around a guy who's in the band. So I wanted to add this to the list as well because it does have some elements of hard rock or heavy metal and stuff like that. So Four Flies on Grey Velvet is definitely one you should check out if you're into Giallo and rock and roll. Here's another one. Rockula. It's basically about a vampire, but this is not really heavy metal. It's just kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, rockabilly or just rock. I mean, it's not really heavy metal at all, but it does revolve around a musician and him turning into a vampire and stuff like that. So Rockula, this was Blu-ray put out by Scream Factory. It's not the greatest movie, but again, it does involve rock and stuff like that. So I figured I'd throw it in there as an honorable mention. Same with Monster Dog. This is a real cool movie. This has Alice Cooper in it. This is from Kino. Man, this does have a lot of music elements to it, but this was a different Alice Cooper. This was more like that poppy Alice Cooper. So as much as this could have fit into the heavy metal, this just almost made it into the list, but I wanted to showcase it more or less because it is one that you guys should check out. It's a fun-ass movie, awesome effects. It's one of those so bad it's good type movies, which I absolutely adore. But check this one. Alice Cooper plays a musician, and he does music videos and stuff like that. All hell breaks loose with wolves and dogs and stuff like that. So guys, Monster Dog is definitely one that pretty much could have made this list, and I highly recommend it. Another honorable mention I wanted to give you guys was Green Room, which does heavily base itself around music, the music industry. Not heavy metal, but more hardcore or punk or anything like that, but definitely want to check out. This is a brutal-ass movie, and man, I was part of the hardcore scene, in my teens, and I used to go to places that I feel like when I watch this, I'm like, oh my God, this could have been me at any time. There was some sketchy concerts and places that I was at and situations I was in where, man, just being a 15-year-old kid, in these situations, I look back and I'm like, man, so many times I had witnessed a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have at the time. And it really does feel real to me. This kind of stuff could have easily happen in those situations I was in. So it definitely hit home with this one. It's actually a hard watch for me because it hit home so much. But Green Room is one that if you like heavy music and you want to see some crazy story, some brutality, I mean, you definitely want to check this one out. It is a great movie, and that's why it made my honorable mentions. The next one is this 80s slasher Killer Party. I love this movie. Now, this is basically why this fits into this is the opening scene. The opening scene actually revolves around a heavy metal 80s hair band playing a song called April, and it's the theme song for Killer Party. And when I saw this for the first time, I was like, oh my god, I'm all in on this movie. Love the song, but it's just a music video that the girl's watching at the beginning, and then after that, there's really no more heavy metal aspects to it, except some of the music and stuff like that in the background. But yeah, Killer Party is definitely one I wanted to add to this list. And the last one is Dungeon Master. I do have the Arrow video one. You can see it up there. But I wanted to showcase Dungeon Master because, again, there's a scene in here where he goes to a Wasp concert. Basically, it was given to him by the devil. He was like, go here. And, you know, the girl was trapped there and they were torturing her and stuff like that. So Dungeon Master had to make the list because you do actually get to see Wasp perform once. So the movie doesn't revolve around heavy metal, but there's a heavy metal scene in here, which is always cool to see Wasp in a horror movie. So definitely check that one out as well. So again, those are my honorable mentions. And like I said, there's so many like heavy metal and horror movies, things like Dream Warriors, Mouth of Madness, shocker! Like there's a lot of cool movies that have awesome heavy metal songs in them, but they don't revolve around heavy metal themselves. So here is my top 15 that I'm going to choose here and showcase to you guys. Like I said, most of these are probably ones you've never heard of, and some are ones you know. So the first one is from 2009. I don't think this gets any love at all, but it's called Suck. And basically it's about this band who sucks. They're called the Winners. And the main lead girl, she ends up going home with a groupie, and he's a vampire. So then she becomes a vampire, and then the band obviously becomes better. So it's kind of like that classic story there. But this is one that's pretty modern. 2009, holy shit. It feels modern, not that modern anymore, but no one ever talks about this. So definitely want to keep your eyes on and look for maybe on streaming or something like that. But that is Suck from 2009. All right, the next one is pure 80s cheese. This is Hard Rock Zombies. This came out from Vinegar Syndrome. Very cool movie. Again, basically this is about a band, 80s like heavy metal hair band, and they play, I'm trying to get, a lot of these I'm getting confused with each other, but I think that they play a song that brings people back from the dead. And there's a scene where, you know, they get killed and they play the song and they come back as zombies. So again, pretty cool. It's like that 80s B fun cheese with a lot of cool music in here. So Hard Rock Zombies is definitely one I would check out. All right, this is an Italian one. This is Paganini Horror. It's about a girl band. And this girl band is like a heavy metal band. And it's kind of a similar concept as Hard Rock Zombies. They find this sheet of music that can summon devils, or I'm trying to think which one this is. Yeah, like a demon. And they use it to play because it's going to get them to the next level, regardless of the repercussions on them doing that. But yeah, this is Paganini Horror. This was put out by Severin. Fun movie. Like I said, girl band, cool music. And it's definitely one that I would probably add to my collection. As Tracy Lords, and it is Shock 'em Dead. I love Shock 'em Dead. This was a Blu-ray that was put out by, I don't know, Slasher Video. I think this probably needs a new edition if it doesn't have one, but I love this movie. It's basically about this band. They're not great, and they're looking for a guitarist, and they find this one dorky guy. So this is very similar to what you'd see in things like Toxic Avenger and stuff. Dorky guy, sucks at music, everybody picks on him. He makes a deal with the devil, becomes cool, heavy metal guy who's amazing at guitar. He becomes so good and everybody loves him that it gets to his head. And in order for him to continue this lifestyle, he has to kill. So very cool. You get some good music in here. You get like this crazy guitar riffs, and he comes out with double guitars. It's an awesome movie. So bad it's good. This is one of my favorites of the bunch here, is this Shock 'em Dead. So guys, I would highly try to find this. I think it is streaming now on Tubi, so you can definitely go check it. But yeah, I would love to see this get a new edition. This is the 25th anniversary, so it's been a while since this come out. But Shock 'em Dead has always been a favorite of mine that I think you guys should check out. All right, so the next one is Hard Rock Nightmare. This was put out by, who put this out? Demon Dave put this out, I think. What was his? Dark Force, right? Is he Dark Force? Yeah, Dark Force Entertainment put this one out. I love this one too. I don't hear anybody ever talk about this one. It's kind of similar to a lot of these movies. It's about a band who gets tormented by werewolves. Basically, I think this is the one where they go up to a house, I believe, to record their next music video or to record in general, and they get tormented by wolves. I think this is the one, but I always did like Hard Rock Nightmare. This one just kind of came out not too long ago, so if it's something you're interested in, definitely go check it out from Dark Force Entertainment. This is probably streaming as well, but I always liked Hard Rock Nightmare. Like I said, they're so bad, they're good. All right, now this is one people probably know now because it recently has been hyped up, and that is Hack-O-Lantern. So if you like satanic cults, weightlifting in the basement, heavy metal, I would definitely check this out if you want to hear the song, The Devil's Son. So there is a scene in here where they have this really kick-ass song, Devil's Son. So Hack-O-Lantern, this just came out from Masker Video on 4K. It's getting a little more hype now. Not many people ever talked about this movie until recently because it's been kind of on a hype train of people picking this up for the first time. But definitely cool. It's good to watch around Halloween, but super fun. And I knew it had to make this list. All right, now the next one on my list is one that I don't even own a physical media copy of because it's so hard to find. I think it's just on VHS, and it's been kind of sought after for a long time for people who know it. But it's not the best movie, but I have a fondness for it, and that is Terror on Tour. Basically, it's about this band that's like a Kiss ripoff band, and the music in it is actually pretty damn good. I actually like it a lot. And with this band, you do get somebody who kind of dresses up the same way with the face paint and stuff and starts knocking off, and killing some of the band members. But a lot of music in this one, a lot of cool music in this one. So Terror on Tour made my list, and like I said, again, I hope somebody puts this out someday. I don't know if there's music rights issues or whatnot, but it's so bad, it's good. All right, the next one is one that we were supposed to get from TerrorVision. It's not out. I don't know if we're ever going to get it again. This is Rocktober Blood. It's not an easy one to find. Very low budget DVD here, but this is kind of a cool movie, really. Again, it revolves around this guy, Billy. Great singer, great voice. He ends up killing his girlfriend and their band manager or something like that because they were having an affair. Then he's tried and executed, and his girlfriend now becomes, I think, the singer of the band. And then she tries to dig up his grave and realize he's dead because all these killings start happening. Come to find out, it was his brother that killed everybody. It's kind of a wacky story, but at the end, you do get this full kind of concert for the last half of this movie or quarter of this movie with some cool ass music and this guy running around on stage with this mask on. And it's a pretty cool one. It's definitely one that fits into this genre. Like I said, this is one that doesn't get talked about. I don't know if it's streaming or if it's very hard to see. I bet you can find it on YouTube. But I would love to see a nice edition of this get put out. I don't know if we ever will, but Rocktober Blood is definitely a cool one that needed to make this list. All right, the next one is one that came out from Vinegar Syndrome not too long ago, and that is Blood Tracks. Blood Tracks! And it's about this band who wants to get, they want to get their next video in. So they go up to the mountains, these snowy mountains to record their video. But little do they know there's actually a family up there of cannibals. Kind of like Hills Have Eyes meets heavy metal. So these guys are taking out this band or whatever. But yeah, very cool songs. Like I said, it revolves around a band that goes up to the mountains to record their video. This is one that I think is highly underrated. I absolutely loved it, but the first time I'd ever seen it with this release right here from Vinegar Syndrome. So if it's still available, I highly recommend checking this one out. All right, so the next one is from 2015, and it is Deathgasm. Check this one out. 10 years old, so it's not that modern, I guess, but it's about these kids. It's kind of a gateway movie. And they're part of a heavy metal band. And this one reminds me of Hard Rock Zombies, which I already talked about, and Evil Dead. So this is kind of a horror comedy. And there's a lot of blood and splatter and gore and stuff like this. It's a fun-ass movie. If you like heavy metal, you're going to definitely like this one. And if you like the Evil Dead, you're going to definitely like this one. So if you haven't seen Deathgasm, definitely try to hunt it down. This came out by Dark Sky in 2015. I don't think it's had anything since then, but yeah, check it out. Deathgasm is a real fun ride and definitely need to make this list. All right, so this one I ended up picking up in 2020. This one I saw streaming first. I loved it, so I picked it up. And this one is starring Alexandria Daddario, who I do like. And this is We Summon the Darkness. It's basically about this chick band, heavy metal band, and they are actually a satanic cult. And it's a real cool movie here. As you can see, it's got a bunch of different people you might know. Johnny Knoxville is in this. I forgot about that. But yeah, this is one they after a concert, they go back to like her home or this cabin, and they bring some dudes there. And it's a fun ride, guys. I highly recommend this one. It's gory, it's fun. And like I said, We Summon the Darkness it's one of those modern-esque heavy metal horror movies, which I don't think gets talked about enough. All right, now this one had to make my list, and I'm going to use this as my example. I should have grabbed the DVD, but this is Slumber Party Massacre 2. Again, this isn't necessarily like a huge heavy metal type movie, but you have a chick band here. There's a lot of music in this movie, and you got this guy here who's killing people with this heavy metal-ass guitar. So, I mean, as much as the music isn't super heavy in this one, you do get that heavy metal aspect throughout the whole movie. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen this one, but it's super fun. And man, this is a trip. This is definitely a favorite when it comes to these sorority house and Slumber Party Massacre movies. It's fun as hell, and it definitely doesn't take itself too serious, and it's a cool-ass killer. So Slumber Party Massacre 2 had to make this list. Now the next one, there's not a ton of heavy metal in this, but it revolves around music. It's about a DJ. But there is this scene with this band that really feels like gore, and that is Bad Channels. This is a full moon release. This is the Blu-ray here, but it's a movie that really revolves around music, and you do get that heavy metal aspect to this one. So Bad Channels is definitely one that made the list. I've got three left, three of the big boys right now. The first one I'm going to talk about is Black Roses. I've talked about this 100 times. Probably my all-time favorite heavy metal horror movie, I think. It's basically about this group, Black Roses. Lead singer's Damien. It comes to this small town called Mill Basin. And they want to perform for the kids. And the parents are like, oh, no, we don't know about this. You know, heavy metal's evil. And they're like, no, no, no. And the band really kind of works over the adults to make them trust them. And when the adults leave, all hell breaks loose, and these guys are trying to possess the kids. Now, what I like about this one is the music is great. Music is awesome in this one. I have the soundtrack. It's fantastic. Music, a lot of it's by Lizzie Borden. Very, very cool and awesome soundtrack here. But what else is cool about this one is the effects are freaking badass. The practical effects are so good. I mean, it's like 80s good. It's that so bad it's good, good. Black Roses is one, man. If a company needs to upgrade a movie and get me to jump all over it, make me a nice edition of Black Roses. I heard there was some issues with the elements. I talked to Don May at Synapse about that. Never say never, but this is one that is highly, highly needed. But I do know it's streaming, so if you guys have never checked out Black Roses, I cannot stress enough about this. You've seen this on plenty of other videos. I've shouted this out so many times, but Black Roses is definitely one that all of you guys should check out. All right, now if you like Black Roses, the next one that you should check out is probably Rock and Roll Nightmare, which is by the same guy who made Black Roses, John Fasano. And this is a cool-ass movie, too. So it's about this band who goes up to a cabin to perform their video. It's a very similar concept as what I talked about before. You got this Jack guy Thor in here. And the music's great in this one. I like Black Roses better, but this is very similar. The practical effects are so freaking gnarly. Some of them are so bad they're good. You should see the devil or the demon in this one. It is so bonkers and mind-blowing that, man, it just has to be seen to believe, but I actually love it. I absolutely love that kind of special effects. It's just the kind of movies I'm into. So Rock and Roll Nightmare is another one that is everything on this list, and this is another one that is desperate need for an upgrade. Imagine doing a double pack, a big box set, Black Roses and Rock and Roll Nightmare. I would flip out. The last one I want to talk about is the most well-known on this whole list, and it is Trick or Treat. And I brought out this old school DVD. Look at the cover on this, how wild this is. No wonder why no one bought the damn thing back in the day. You got Ozzy and Gene Simmons on it, but like modern pictures of them, which is wild. But this movie did get brand new 4K treatment from Red Shirt Pictures, which is probably one of my favorite 4K releases of all time, because I just love this movie and I needed it on a brand new edition, which is what they gave us. Man, I can't say enough about Trick or Treat. You got Sammy Kerr in there. He's almost like a Freddy Krueger type character, but it revolves around heavy metal and him and his band, and it is freaking amazing, guys. I absolutely love Trick or Treat. It's number one on my list here of heavy metal horror movies that you guys need to check out. Now, I gave you 15 plus another like 5 or 6 honorable mentions. So basically, you got about 20 movies to check out, and any of them that you haven't seen, because again, as cheesy as they are, they fall in this subgenre, which I absolutely love. So to me, these are all winners. Now, guys, let me know down in the comments below, are there any of these you've seen? Are there any of these you didn't see? And let me know what some of your favorite heavy metal horror movies are of all time. And if I missed any real good ones, let me know in the comments down below as well. And guys, this is Garrett at Born to Be Rad. Make sure you hype this damn video. It brings it out to a bigger audience. I totally appreciate all the support here. And there's more where this came from, and I hope that you guys take some of these movies here that you haven't seen and add this to your watch list. Love you guys, and like always, stay rad.